Alright, welcome back to another video here. Today we're going to go with the Molto Dolce. Taste of summer, texture of vanilla, caramel, and honey. Creamy. Rich and creamy. Well, that's the Molto Dolce. So it's been an interesting week here for me. I started my new teaching position, and I thought it went very well. I'm the one who tries to teach people not to do the junk filler. By the way, maybe that's part of the title of the video, like how to get rid of your junk filler. Actually making videos and being a better public speaker will help you practice not using your junk filler. I had a friend in Florida who was training me with some music for a long time, and he was also really annoyed with how much junk filler I used when we were speaking. So he said, look, give me permission to point at you every time, or just verbally say something every time that you use junk filler. And I said, sure, that's fine. So every time I said or he would call me out on it. And it took me about probably 3 years or so to really get that out of my speaking. It's very difficult. And it really helped to have a coach. Really, the theory behind it is, instead of the junk filler, just take a breath, which will actually help you to think about what you want to say next. So that breath is also the place where you would say the So you're just kind of riding on the breath when you're saying You're not really taking the breath. So instead of saying just, and then go down the tracks again, whatever you're going to say. So it's just a matter of training yourself. The word so, I think, is okay. So is a connecting word. But be careful, because it could also be, you could be falling into the same pattern by using the word so all the time. Ideally, we want to be able to speak clearly and intelligently, right? So anyways, I have this matcha latte that I made just now at the 7-Eleven. I have my own matcha powder, and matcha is one of the best antioxidants for your skin and for, what's the word? It has the collagen, for the collagen. And as you age, the collagen is doing its thing. So there's matcha and aloe vera. I swear by aloe vera. Why? Because aloe vera was there for me. I don't want to get those lines in my forehead, and so I'm a little vain, vanity. But when I was out singing outside for a long time, I would put the aloe vera on my face. And I used to buy these little squirt bottles that had seaweed in there. And that would really cake on my skin and really protected my skin from all those years of standing out in the hot sun. But so I put the aloe vera to the test. Now maybe you're going to say I look terrible, so maybe it didn't work. But yeah, I try to do some regimens and consistency. I really do believe in that consistency, which is one of the things I want to talk about today, is consistency and moving forward in your life, doing the things, creating the life, even if it takes 50 years, but still moving forward toward happiness, fulfillment, whatever. Well, let's light this thing up. Well, one of the things I want to talk about was this whole weed culture, which is really catching on worldwide, and you know, I'm not really a big fan myself for the reasons that I have a hard enough time doing the things in my life. I mean, maybe, please comment if there's something I'm missing about weed, because I know a lot of productive people use weed, and they're very productive, and their life is very successful. And so I don't really know, because I've never really worked on weed. I've never really smoked weed on a regular basis. So I just remember, and they're all different, so you don't really know what you're getting at a different time. So all of your experiences in the past were kind of different based on the type that you had at the time, really, I think. But I did remember some really good experiences wanting to pick up the guitar and play the guitar, or wanting to paint or something like that. But I really do think that, again, it's just an excuse. It's just a crutch, because your mind is really the gatekeeper, and to build your discipline, to build your mind is the real thing. I think that if you really want to paint, you have to set the scene, you have to create the room, you have to sit down, and you have to paint. You have to remember how good that activity feels. And the more you do it, the more rewards that you get. Now, some people quit because they're not being seen by other people, or they're not being rewarded, or praised for their work, or whatever. But everything really is sort of a battle with yourself. At the end of the day, you have yourself, nobody else. So, at the end of the day, we sit with our accomplishments, whatever we accomplished. I've always wanted to be a really great portrait painter. And have I done any painting this weekend? No. Why? Because, well, I was moving, number one, and I don't have enough money to buy the materials right now, number two. And so when you think about what you want to do, sometimes you need to put that in the forefront of your mind. Like, okay, if you're a teacher and you really want to be an artist, you're going to think about your job as a teacher. And sometimes you won't try to continue to create your life around being an artist because you're a teacher. So you kind of give up on creating the life around being an artist or setting yourself up because now you're a teacher. So we trade one thing for another thing. So in some ways, all or nothing is really great. I'm a big fan of that. I've done that many times where you just got to clear the decks completely. I mean, there was a time a few weeks ago, I was in Malaysia, and I was asking the people there, I said, could I just set up and be an artist here? And they said, yeah, I don't see why not. So I was just going to find a way and stay there and be an artist, do portraits. And I didn't do it. See? So taking that risk is can be very hard. We always want to have the money behind us. We always want to have some kind of support or money behind us before we take a jump. I mean, sure, it's a good idea to have, a month's rent or maybe 2 months' rent or whatever before you jump overboard and dive in to working on the street as an artist. Plus, the world just opened back up again, so everything was totally crazy, right? But consistency with whatever it is, if you have a lot of interests, try to be consistent with each one. I don't know, I'm just speaking off the top of my head here.